Hi there, hi back. So we're on session 9, this time talking about education and outreach. So time is passing for us, it's 6 p.m., but we are moving also across the world. We will have different speakers around. This session will talk about fostering meaningful connection with the ocean, requiring imaginative and inclusive approaches. We put some on the table. This session presents how students, alumni, educators, and communicators engage diverse audience, especially youth, through experimental education and creative outreach tools.
Projects in this session across the Cayman Islands, Curaçao, Bermuda, and beyond, they illustrate immersive field programs like marine science to local realities, school and community activities fostering stewardship and awareness, integration of scientific knowledge with traditional and local perspectives, and the use of innovative communication formats, including comic books such as Naïa's Adventure, to make complex ocean issues accessible and emotionally engaging for new publics.
And so for this panel, we are happy to have different speakers, and we have Tatiana Teodopoulou, researcher at Université Côte d'Azur, CEPAM laboratory, joined also by Antoine Herves, which is a blue economy consultant biomarine, who is the creator of Naïa.
We also have Mara's student blue manager, Ines Zimmerman, who's at Branch Coral Foundation. And we have Luna Lombard, who's a Mara student, second year at the Central Caribbean Marine Institute in the Cayman Islands.
And we were supposed to have Angela coming, but unfortunately right now at her place, so in Canada, there is a lot of storms, and unfortunately she can't join us. She doesn't have electricity, so we're really sorry, but she's been working a lot with a Broadreach program, so it's educational programs doing summer camp and trying to educate and testing also with the young, just like how really integrate science into it. So yeah. So thank you for joining us.
Just a reminder for people watching online, please feel free to leave comments and questions for our participants, and please, interact.
Okay, so should we open the floor, I guess, to perhaps Ines? So before you go more into details, because we already also had Olivia previously in one session, so to Curaçao, to Branch Foundation, so just understanding how you and how important it is about education communication. You share a little video, so we will just have a look and then it will be your time.
I'm Ines Zimmerman, and I'm a marketing intern at Branch Coral Foundation, who does coral gardening in the Dutch Caribbean on the beautiful island of Curaçao. Before deciding to redirect my career to an ocean focus, I was the head of marketing of an international healthcare product provider. Like most nonprofit organizations, Branch is struggling with the limited funds and resources. We believe that we can change that with a more professionalized digital marketing, which is why I'm here. I like to use quotes from Jacques Cousteau because I believe they're still highly relevant in the ocean context these days, and this one really hits the nail on the head and captures the essence what Branch is about, and that is really education.
I'm really happy that I can help Branch make a difference. Thank you for sharing the video. Are there any specific questions that you have, or should I just explain about the project I'm working on right now?
Well, you can go and explain a bit your project, and we will go more into the question after, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so I'm the marketing intern at Branch Coral Foundation right now. And apart from continuing the work that basically Olivia started, which was in one of the sessions before, is assisting them in their website relaunch. And one of the main strengths of Branch compared to the other coral restoration foundations on site in Curaçao is that we are really focusing a lot on education. So we have a lot of international organizations there. We have Reef Renewal, for example. They have different locations like Reef Renewal Bonaire and Reef Renewal Curaçao, and all over. And they do a very scientific approach, but they really lack the part of community outreach and education. So that's basically where we complement and where we help. And I think that's why Branch has been quite successful in Curaçao, because we really try to engage everyone and get them involved. And a strong part of that is that also we work with schools, and that Max, basically the director of Branch, he goes to those schools, he holds like lectures and talks about what we do. And then we have also on-site activities like you saw in the video. So we had snorkeling tour with kids while I was in Curaçao. Unfortunately, I'm not there anymore. But also diving tours with the kids, so youth rangers from Camarby Education. So we also work with educational facilities. And I saw that it's such a big difference if you just talk to those kids in the lecture, as opposed to when you really are on site with them. And you can show them what we're doing and get them really engaged and get them really like on board, and they're excited and they want to visit again, and they feel like they belong, and like it's a part of them. And that's I think the best thing about Branch's approach, that they really try to encompass that.
Fantastic. Thank you for that overview. We're going to go to Luna now. I've got a question for Luna. So maybe actually before you can maybe tell us a little bit about where you are and your experience there.
Yes, absolutely. So basically, I'm an intern at the Central Caribbean Marine Institute, and I'm working with the Reefs Go Live project. So the Reefs Go Live is basically an underwater class session for kids for year 5 and 6, so about 10 years old. And what we do is we have special diving equipment. So we have full face masks, and we have communication cables and microphones underwater and big cameras. And we organize a whole class session basically on a theme that we choose, and we present it underwater. So it's live. So the kids can watch it in real time. So just like this one, and they can ask questions, and hopefully the idea is that we can answer them underwater, and we can show them things underwater, and we try to add games to make it more interactive. And the idea of my research on this is to see if using video as an education tool is actually quite useful, and if it's more, if the interactivity of it is very beneficial in knowledge retention and potential behavioral change. So yeah.
Oh, sounds interesting. You actually answered my question as well. So, so thank you for that. Maybe we can go to next and we'll go back.
Yeah. So I guess I can move to Antoine. So which I said it's creator of Naïa, that I have just close by, because we do have a collaboration together. So I'll just give you the floor to explain a little bit why Naïa, why this tool, and how did you come also with this idea?
So the idea started, I've been working in the ocean space for around 10 years now, and I realized that most of my friends knew more about space than they did about the oceans. And for me, it was something weird, because oceans are more accessible, they're closer to us, whether compared to stars that are far away. So my objective was to find a way to communicate with them, more or less what I was doing, and find an engaging way to do so. And through my passion of comic books and visual storytelling, I decided to launch myself into this adventure. We launched our first book last year on marine protected areas. We're doing our second one with Sipan, with Tatiana, who is here online as well. And the goal for us is to work with the scientific community and to help translate complex ocean topics into visual storytelling and engaging content. And the goal for us is not just to raise awareness, but also to help people seeking new opportunities and seeking new sectors, especially young adults, to find maybe their calling in the ocean space without them necessarily knowing much about the sector. So I'll stop there for the moment.
Cool, thanks. Well, I guess we can go to you, Tatiana, then. So just like, as a researcher also, we ask more and more to do this outreach and just to communicate science. So what do you feel about this tool, and also how like this collaboration with Antoine and us came up?
Well, I must tell you, I'm an archaeologist and more specifically a zooarchaeologist, but nonetheless, I don't feel at all like a fish outside my pond. On the contrary, the collaboration with Antoine and the rest of the team was amazing, specifically because we gave some results from our marine historical ecology and archaeology projects dealing with the fluctuations of marine ecosystems in the Mediterranean and how ancient societies managed fishing and interaction with marine ecosystems. And the great thing about this collaboration and outreach was that through this interaction, we could make our results, scientific results, much more open and much more comprehensible to the larger public. And it also gave us ideas on how to look at our own results. So it was in both ways a very beneficial exercise, I would say.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. So maybe we can, I would like to go back to Luna. You already kind of spoke about this immersive experience of being in the water and teaching a class. I would like to know, like, what are some of the children's reactions and experiences of this? How do they react? What type of questions do they ask?
Well, it's really funny because we get all kind of questions underwater. So we get questions such as, what is your favorite animal underwater, which has nothing to do with what we're teaching. Or we get, what temperature is the water? So things like that. But we also get questions like, some questions are, why are the corals like looking like this? Or, you know, because there's we can really see the effects of the last marine heat wave from 2023 here on the reefs of Little Cayman. You can really see a difference. Well, I didn't see it before, but that's what people say is quite there. So we do get those a bit more of some serious questions, but we also get a lot of oh, what's that fish, or that kind of thing, which is great to have all these. That's the idea, is for them to see it and to be able to ask the questions, so we can like show them in real time, in real life, what it is. So yeah,
I think it really shows we're part of the ecosystem as well, and from a young age, that's really, really important. So it's really cool. I wish we could do that here, but it's maybe a bit colder.
You don't want to drive?
I'm sure we could.
I also have a question for Ines as well. In where you worked in Curaçao, what role does education have to actually lead to real change?
Well, I think the biggest and most important role is to open the gate for them, to make them see that there's something out there. It's not just, it's not just the first question basically we ask, is it a plant or an animal? And you get them engaged once they figure it's an animal and there's something going on and there is symbiosis. And I think that's what we do, really open the door to get them interested and excited. And once you got them hooked, it's actually pretty easy. So it's just getting them to the spots to like open up themselves and get more interested. And then they also see the benefits, because once you explain that the coral reefs have benefits for them because they're residents, they have ecosystem services. So they really see the benefit of that. And then and that it's just an easy way to kind of hook them. Of course, you never get all the kids really engaged, but even if you get a couple of them, it's already a win, I would say.
I agree.
Cool. Yeah. No, I was thinking at the same time. So it's really interesting. And like you said, I think when you're on site and when you engage them, because they have this opportunity to directly go for it, it's perhaps a little bit more easy than when you're just like, okay, when you're like in a class, for example. So Luna, what you're doing is quite amazing. You're just like, okay, you die for them. So that's really cool. But I guess also going back also to Antoine and Tatiana, like just like, how do you reach this, the young or even like more adult person that you just like do not have an access easily to the sea or can go diving like that, or you can't just bring them to be like, come and see what I'm doing. So to come with these tools, and how do you decide which tool is the best in a way? It's not an easy question. I'm sorry, it's just an open question.
If I may jump in, I want to do the comparison to space. There's plenty of people I know that are passionate about space and never going to go to space I think never. So I don't think it's necessarily a question of being accessible and going to the ocean. It is important, of course, to see it, but for me, there's two elements. First of all, there's a question of ignorance. So the fact that a lot of people aren't aware about a lot of ocean topics, even very basic ones. And the second one is passion. When someone has a passion about something, whether they're far from it or not, it drives them and they create that interest. And the objective of Naïa, and I think all these initiatives together, is really to create that spark and to say, okay, how can we engage with students that can be, in Paris or, even in Vienna or in places completely landlocked, and give them that interest in ocean topics. And I don't think there's one solution. There's plenty of various tools, and, comic book is one, videos is one, digital classrooms under the water is definitely one I didn't have in mind, which is pretty impressive. But I think, there's plenty of different ways, but it's really tackling those two barriers, which is key for me.
Yeah. And to add to that, another kind of question for all of you, maybe Tatiana can help with this, is the role of storytelling. Scientists were always told to put storytelling into our presentation. Have you got any advice for people listening on how we connect storytelling to science?
Well, I think that people really need to connect, and there's no point in coming up with an outrageous story, but just show the link between common people, everyday people, and whatever surrounds us. And this was actually also the link between the past and present and future of our oceans that we tried to create with Antoine and the rest of the team. The thing is that the people need to connect with their environment, and with if the story is good, that's even better. But they need to understand that this is them, not something coming from nowhere.
Okay. So I guess also, we just had a glimpse of of the past.
Precisely. These are images that we can still see in the Mediterranean today, but we just move them a little bit back to the past, to the Roman times. But things like that we can still see around.
Yeah, that's really cool. So I guess also for me, it's like. Still going on with what you just asked, is just like, what are your advice with also your expertise and experience? What are your advice for people who would like to do this outreach, or they would want at least to deliver more in a way? Like what can you tell them? Maybe, I don't know, Luna, if you want to start.
So can you repeat your question?
I was just asking you, like, with your experience and as you're doing your master thesis and this past couple of months that you had with education and outreach, people are trying sometimes to more communicate. So what will be like the advice you will give them if they want to start, like to launch themselves? What should they do? What is your advice?
To try and communicate ocean science?
Yeah.
I mean, personally, because I do like the use of cameras, and I think it's a beautiful way to show it. I think there's such a beautiful way to show the ocean through a picture, through a video, because we can go to places and we can make it look even more pretty than what it is, I think, even through a picture. And a whole picture can tell a whole story. And there are actually quite a lot of studies on this, on the way of the framing theory, so what to show in that picture. And it's really interesting how different things that you can show in one picture will affect anyone's perception on what they see. So I think showing something beautiful and showing the beauty of the ocean through a picture is like such a great way to start. Because video can be a bit harder, because it's a bit harder to make it look good. I can definitely tell you that. But I think to start, just pictures and showing and talking about it, I think is a great way to start, to do that outreach, and then obviously level up to videos. But I like using a camera to tell the stories, obviously.
Cool. Yeah, it's very, very cool. They're laughing at the comment.
Yeah, if you see that, it's like a Blue Manager student also just like doing dives. She just like, and when you're just like doing dives and you just try to educate or give some rules. She told me this story already. Just like some point having a comment about like people being surprised that the water was salty. So yeah, like, it could be interesting to see like the relationship people have also with the ocean.
I would like to open this question to everyone. Maybe Antoine can start. I want to know some of the challenges facing marine science education and outreach. Whether we've heard a lot of struggles with like funding, for example, but you know, with the UNOC around the corner, this is a good time to kind of voice these challenges.
It's an excellent question indeed. Funding is always a question. So, and it's not only for education, it's for everyone. So I don't see it necessarily as a barrier because it's a universal problem. What I see is that some people tend to be a bit too ambitious, which can seem a bit controversial. But they want to educate everyone at once. And the vision I wanted to have with Naïa is that we just want to target a little bit of people, and those people will preach out to other people, and so on and so forth. And it's better to have a small community around you that builds afterwards and that promotes it for you than trying to, you know, preach the choir to everyone. So for me, that's the barriers, that people often have too big of a goal in ocean literacy. And I think sometimes it's good to start small and then grow bigger.
Fantastic, thank you. Maybe I can ask the same for to Luna. Jump in.
Yeah, I think really one of the big challenges is knowing how to do it, and I think there's a lot of people that don't really know what to show. I'm coming back a little bit to what I just said with the camera. It's just there's this stress, this the feeling of not being able to do anything when you see those pictures that are really sad. So there's this the need to show things that will increase the self-efficacy. So the wanting the ability to do something. So when you see a good picture or a good story or a good something, that, you know, increase the feeling of hope. And I think that's what we need. And there's a lot of people that don't really know how to do that and go into the extremes of what's really, really bad. And it's really important to just like be able to show also what's good. And I've seen that here and in other places. And I think it's one of the challenges that we can face with that.
I agree. We were just speaking about kind of pockets of resilience that we should speak about more as well. So I agree. Maybe Tatiana, obviously coming from a research kind of side of stuff, what are the challenges faced for marine science education?
I think that the important thing is to gain from the scientific results and there's definitely a big part of negative results that we are getting, and negative signal from even from the past that I'm working on, but much more from the current and recent past that we are facing. But the thing is that for me, the most important thing is to show the positive way to look at things and to remedy for the losses and for the negative impact we have as humans to the marine ecosystems. And I think with the outreach, there's a way to bring people to feel that they can contribute and to do something, rather than get this fear of the of what will happen next, and the end of our oceans and the end of our ecosystems. I think we need to work on this, positivization of our results and working with the public.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think something that you're saying, and in a way, it answered a little bit the question we had also from the audience. It's just like, how do you get past the fear of the unknown? And what you're saying is really important, because it's true that more and more we just also communicate. We have a lot of communication and a lot of tools to communicate, and we receive also a lot of information. So sometimes it's more difficult to have the right balance of, okay, how do you pass that? And also with the right message, and perhaps, going against this fear of the unknown when we don't really know the ocean, which is really huge. But we are talking about that today. So Ines, do you want to jump in to give us your thoughts?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I think as scientists, sometimes we have to take a step back and think about that people don't have the same perspective as we have. So for us, it's all natural. We know how coral reefs function, but the audience might not. So we really need to look at what's my target audience, because they might need a different tone of voice. They might need a different message. Naïa might work really good for kids, maybe also for grown-ups, but it might not work for all target audiences. And I think that kind of reflects what Antoine said. Of course, the goal is very big. If I want to reach everyone with one media, that's probably not possible. But if I look at my target audience and I change the message accordingly, I can reach far broader audiences. And I have this struggle right now with the website, because we have so many audiences, but I have to address them differently to reach them. And I think that's one of the key takeaways for scientists, to really think about, who am I talking to, do I want to reach, and what is the goal I want to reach with the message. And that always helps me with my work.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Okay, I think we're unfortunately running out of time. It goes
Almost
really,
already.
really fast, unfortunately. So maybe as a kind of close, we can go around and ask for a 30-second take-home message from you guys concerning marine education and outreach, and maybe we can start with Tatiana.
Oh.
You looked ready.
I look ready. Well, I would say, take your lessons from the past and the present and move on.
It's a good and powerful message.
Luna?
I think I would say stay creative and always try and find new ways to tell those stories, and try again and keep trying until you find the right way of telling those stories. And because just like Tatiana mentioned and Ines, there's so many different ways that we can reach different people, and not everything works for everybody. So just keep being creative.
Yeah, we should bring everyone along with us as well. I agree. Antoine?
For me, I think passion is everything. With enough passion, I think you can convince more or less anyone about the right things to do, and even make it their own passion. So be passionate and share that passion with everyone else.
Thank you. And
Ines?
Yeah, well, similar to what Luna said, I feel like you should really try things, and then you can be a scientist again and analyze what feedback you get, and maybe improve and maybe adjust according to different channels. So it's kind of a science in itself, I would say.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for having being with us. So just going back to what is important, and we're linking that to we go really into SDGs 4, the quality education through innovative, inclusive, and engaging formats. You showed us a lot of really nice formats, so that was really, really cool. Thanks again. Of course, stay with us, because in 30 minutes we're continuing our journey. This time we're moving a little bit more, I think, towards the west, if I'm correct, in the Central America, just with a mollusk in motion. It will be at 7. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.